Welcome back to the Spark It and Plug Talks. This is episode 8. One day I'll write it down and maybe I'll remember.
Nah,
it.
I got
Yeah,
it.
Jared will have my back. Okay, as usual, this is Dylan.
I'm J-Rod.
Oi, I'm Aaron.
That's him. And our guest today is the fantabulous Kyle Ross from the band Keyland.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Man, thanks for coming out, dude. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Kyle just put on an absolutely, masterclass of a performance.
Yeah.
I love, I'm not going to say that you're not a perfectionist, but it just came across as like just to really give it all, just like, this is what I got performance, you know? And it's cool because sometimes people get hung up on the little stuff, but you didn't seem to be too worried about it.
Yeah, I don't know. We kind of, recording this kind of a mindset I try to always have is like one take sort of things. So I feel like, I think I mentioned when we were doing it, like it's not getting any better than that for the most part.
Right.
It's kind of what you're working with.
Well, dope, man. And so you are in, are you the founder, the front man of Keyland?
Yeah, I'd say both. It's kind of my project, and then it's definitely not a only me thing. It's a collective piece, but it's my baby project.
Yeah,
so to speak.
Gotcha.
Yep.
For sure. And that's all up out of you're based out
We're all
of
in
Tulsa?
Tulsa. Yep.
Yeah,
We're in
okay.
Tulsa.
Well, I'd seen that you were playing Canes here in a couple of weeks. You know,
I'm
not
really
to get
excited,
ahead of
yeah.
like the what are you doing next, but like that's
No, I'm really
awesome,
excited.
man.
Canes is like one of my favorite places in the world. I love that place, and I've seen, that's like musically and inspiration wise, it's really, really cool. I'm excited.
It is amazing, and it's cool what they're always doing up there. Cool the bands they have that come in there, and it always sounds so dope. But that's great, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
that is so. That is just. I'm jealous. I'm just like as a
It's
as a
like
fellow musician.
it's really cool. Yeah.
Dope, man. Well, okay, so I was listening to speaking of Keyland's music, I was listening to you guys on Spotify, and I noticed that there was a Keyland and then a Keyland Music Co.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for like? Did you
There's-
want to distinguish kind of?
A little bit. We just kind of had started writing music in like 2020. I think COVID was probably like a time off, and and I was just getting out of school at that point. I went to school in Tulsa and college, and then started writing music, and it was all we had like 2 EPs under Keyland Music Company, and I like all that music, and it's good. And then it was kind of like, oh, this is really fun. This is maybe take a step in a more serious direction, and so kind of rebranded just as Keyland.
Gotcha. It's a little bit of a rebirth, the phoenix rising from the ashes kind of deal. I
Same,
gotcha.
and I don't want to. It's definitely like the same. I don't know, same project, just a better I don't know. Reincarnation of it.
Yeah, for sure. No,
Yeah.
I totally understand that. Yeah, we've all been in things like that where it's kind of like you change the name and you get together and you say, this isn't that anymore, you know, we are something different, you know, it's not. But yeah, totally, I understand that. And it's crazy, my little brother, and I still haven't asked him where he found the music, but he was like, have you ever heard the song Karen Jane Allen? And I was like, no, but that sounds really familiar. Is that somebody's name?
I think you texted me that.
Yeah, and he was, and he played it for me, and I was like, this song's badass. This is awesome. And then I was looking at him on Spotify because he didn't tell me that you were like a local band or from Oklahoma or Tulsa or anything. So I thought and he's not like he's not like a avid local showgo or anything, So I just assumed that in the production on it and everything, I just assumed that it was some band that he'd found that just came across his Spotify, whatever.
That's funny. I wonder how he found it.
I need to ask him.
Cool.
I was wondering about it while we were getting set up. I was like, where did he find?
Yeah.
But anyways, he showed it to me, and I was like just doing some creeping on you, and I was like, oh man, they're just in Tulsa. Like, what the hell? I need to have them. And it's crazy. Just weird how all that interconnects and everything like that. But before I get too deep into the philosophical nature of how we came across each other's paths, let's talk about the music, the songs that you ripped out. So the first one was "Okay, Darling."
Yep,
and that's from a pretty Did you release that album
Yeah,
last
we
year?
just no, that's like super recent. So we just released an album, a full album, and all those songs are on it. And that was in March, I think.
Oh,
like
wow.
the middle
Very
of March.
recent.
Yeah,
Okay.
so pretty
For some
recent.
reason, I thought I'd seen 2022, but yeah, okay. So
Yeah, it came
less
out.
than a
I guess
month
it came out as a single. That particular song came out as a single before the album came out,
Gotcha.
but not too much before that. Maybe 2
Okay,
weeks or something
gotcha.
before it, 2 or 3 weeks before it. So
Well, that's dope, man. Where'd you? So how many is it? Is it a full album? Is it
it's
like
10 songs.
10 songs.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All
cool.
those 3 songs are on it. Yeah, full. That was like our first Keyland full album, and even the old project, Keyland Music Company, never had like a full length album.
Yeah,
They were like 2 smaller EPs,
shorter EPs.
So,
yeah.
Yep.
Did you end up with the album? Did you end up? You said you like one take recordings. Did you do most of your stuff like live or
not live, but it's quick. I don't know. I say one take. That's probably more of a mindset than a literal
right
thing, but it's quick. Like a lot of the songs we've done are, this is the idea, make quick decisions, and it's a fast process. So yeah, I don't like to labor over little details that probably in the end are like not going to matter,
right, for sure,
for the most part.
Yeah.
That's a pretty healthy mindset to have, man, because it's like sometimes it's kind of defeating once you get into the studio.
Yeah,
and
it's
you're
so
like,
easy to get caught up in everything.
yeah, it's hard, especially being here, owning a studio.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you see it, you experience it, and it's dope that you've kind of figured something out. That's like,
Well, I don't know. One of my favorite producers is a guy named Dave Cobb. I don't know if you guys know that name, but he's done a bunch of the music that I like, and I've just get in the weeds and nerded out over interviews with him and stuff, and that's like how he likes to record for the most part.
Gotcha,
So,
man. What is some of the music he's done?
he's done. I heard in one of your guys' earlier podcasts, maybe the Levi one. He's done Sturgill's early stuff.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I think Sturgill kind of self-produced, but he's done it with Dave. Chris Stapleton,
Okay,
all
so
his stuff.
fairly big names.
Yep. And then even he did I don't know if you guys know the band Houndmouth.
It sounds really familiar.
Did a Houndmouth record. He did Brent Cobb.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know Brent Cobb. He's touring with Luke Combs now. He's done a Brent Cobb record, all
that's
Brent Cobb's
I was going to say
records.
that's how I saw Luke Combs post something on
Yep.
Instagram about him or something
Yep.
like that. And
So and along with a bunch of I think he maybe did a Jude and the Lion record. I don't know if you guys know that band.
Yeah.
But he's all a ton of the people that I like. He's been behind. So
Where did
very
you
cool, man.
record all your singles?
in
EPs and stuff?
Tulsa, our producer for the most part. Well, I guess we've done it in 2 different places. So Sam Westhoff is a guy in Tulsa, Oklahoma, who we're good friends now, and he has a recording studio called Colony Recording.
Yeah.
And we've done most of our stuff there, and then we've done a little bit with Kendall Osborne, another guy
Oh, yeah.
out of
Oh,
Tulsa.
yeah.
Kendall's awesome.
the,
Was Tristan
the
up
OG,
there when-
the pro.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
Tristan and I went to ACM together.
Okay,
and we were
cool.
pretty good buds.
Yep.
back then.
Yep, Tristan's been
Yeah.
there. We've done 2 or 3 songs with Kendall, and Kendall's awesome too.
Yeah.
So
Very cool, man. That's
Yep.
dope. Yeah, that's some good heavyweights in your corner, man, because
they're awesome guys. Yeah.
all their stuff
Yep.
seems like professional as can be. That's for sure.
Kendall's
Yeah.
put out some cool. They both have like put out. I'm trying to think of like projects that I know. We've got some friends in Tulsa in a band called Jasper Wilderness. They're like an alt rock band, but they have done their stuff with Kendall, and that's how I got to know Kendall. And then Sam has been a part of some really cool stuff. Also, he's done like he's more pop than country ish, and not really a lot of rock either. So, but his stuff's good. He just came out with a solo project called Halfway, and it's really cool. So
Very cool. Yeah, man. I'll have to check them all out because those sound dope. Cool, man. When did you start? When did you start like writing your own songs, playing your own music, stuff like that? How long has Keyland always been kind of the vehicle for that, or were you kind of a solo?
yeah, it's
person
all
before.
honestly, it's all new. Like it feels like it's been going for a while, but it's all honestly, retrospectively, not been that long. Probably in college, I started, and I played guitar first, I guess. So I started taking lessons when I was younger, like 3rd, 4th grade. But I didn't take lessons very long, and then kind of stopped in high school with sports, got busy with sports, and picked it back up again in college because I was just bored.
Yeah.
And so my roommate played guitar, and we and he just recently moved. He became one of my best friends, still is. His name's Mark Cimpano, and we played guitar together all the time and had some different band rendition things for different shows, and then out of that kind of came Keyland. So
dope, man. Cool. And that was all 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, like and honestly, didn't write any of my own stuff until probably 2020. I think it was always something I wanted to do, and it was so like seemed impossible for so long. It was like hard, and
I think that's the only thing separating an entire 20 million people from all attempting to go and write their own stuff is like maybe not the illusion that anyone can just create some kind of music. Not saying it'll be good music, but any kind of music.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this, but there's all those barriers are kind of gone now. You know, for it's kind of wild. It's like both a massive con and a massive pro at the same time.
Well, even like, I don't know, like at first there was just writing my own songs. I don't know. There's like a mystic quality behind it that seemed, it was like, how? And now and I really do think it's just like a skill that you develop and learn.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't want to say it's easy and not that they're good songs, but they're like, it's the skill of writing a song just makes sense now. So it's just something that you got to figure out.
I think it definitely makes you appreciate like when all of the critics and, you know, mass people, whoever from the past that have said these people are amazing songwriters, you know, like Neil Young, Bob Dylan, just whoever, Woody Guthrie, just whoever. At the time you listen to the song and you think that's a good song. But I think once you write your own song, it's like, this is an absolute masterpiece.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I've listened to those guys and, you know, and like retrospectively, like you were saying, and I'm always like, wow, just never appreciated what was right in front of me the whole time.
Yep. For sure.
Well, dope, man. And so that was okay, Darlin', and you said all three of these songs are from which is called?
It's called Growing Pains.
Growing Pains.
That's a line so the second song I played is called Cheap Rolled Tobacco. Yeah. That's a line in there. So I just like that name. Growing Pains is the album. And then the third song's called Things You Can't Have. And they're all on that.
All three of these songs seem to be kind of like they come from they're pretty introspective, like they're kind of you outward almost, you know?
Yeah.
And do you typically write a lot of your stuff in that way?
Yeah, I would say it's like to a degree, like, I don't know. I think for everyone, it's hard not to write in an autobiographical mindset, you know? So it's all kind of like that. And so I would say for the most part, yes, it's all, you know, stems at least to some degree from personal experience.
Yeah.
That's probably everyone who writes, you know.
Well, right. I just meant, you know, some people they take outside factors, outside influences, and kind of, which I'm sure you've done. I'm not saying like, but some more so than others, and you know, vice versa kind of deal. And it's just interesting to see that it's like some people draw from less introspectively, and you know, kind of take what's happening in the world around them, and then convert that. And some people think what's happening inside them and convert that into a song, and et cetera, et cetera. But it's always just cool to see how people specifically kind of approach that and go about it. Is that how you? So when you start writing a song, how do you kind of? What's the easiest way for you to start? You start with just like a strum, just some chords, and strumming, and figure. Or do you?
Man, it kind of depends. Different songs are different, certainly. They don't all come out the same, but usually it's like sometimes it'll be music first. Most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's like a line or a lyric.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can get just like one line of like, even like a few and sometimes I'll do this too. If it's not even just like a line, it'll be like a key word or a few keywords that are like a cornerstone, and then it just like Lego builds on top of that.
Man, that's funny. We had the guest we had on previous, which his episode hasn't released yet. His name's Jacob Haas Miller, and he said the same thing. He was like, I usually, but he said it was like generally an every time thing. He almost always, when he's writing songs, he starts with like a chorus or a phrase, and then he just builds from there. Because he's like, I think he said, isn't that right? That he basically found it easier to find a direction that way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think that's what
instead of he said if he doesn't do it that way, he basically just rambles on and has too many verses, so it kind of helps him condense everything.
Yeah.
Keep it streamlined, I guess, if you will.
Yeah. It's just it's like everybody is speaking the same language, but it's just funny how they get to
arrive there.
Yeah, it's always because there's those weird similarities, but then it's like these different paths, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But okay, cool, man. Well, so what kind of you said you started playing 4 or 5 years ago, kind of figuring that out. When did you start what music would you say that you listened to that kind of helped inspire what you write now and kind of push you into that direction?
I like it's kind of all changing and developing, but when I graduated, like my senior year of high school was when the Chris Stapleton Traveler record came out.
Mhm.
And that was like, and I had listened to music before that, and I've always liked music and appreciated music. But that was like, that album in particular was like damn, like
this could change people.
Yeah,
It's a fantastic album.
and from there, other music. But that's kind of like been a cornerstone album, even still today. But I'm also all over the place as far as. And I think probably most people are.
Yeah.
Because I would say I tend to lean towards country music as a favorite because it kind of feels
Like
familiar.
home.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yep. But I love rock and roll. I love shamelessly love like some pop stuff. I don't know if you guys know
Mhm.
Laney.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
like every word to most Laney songs. So kind of
No
keep
shame.
that under wraps. But
And I
um,
love- I
Well,
love,
it's out now, so.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw. I go to Bonnaroo every year, the
Okay.
festival in
Yeah.
Tennessee.
I saw
and-
that poster over here. And
Oh yeah,
Yep.
there's that one. There's another one somewhere that I think probably fell down. I didn't do a good job of framing them, but anyways, I've been going since 2017, and there's always it's never fails. There's always some like band that I think I'm never gonna like them, and then I see them and I'm like, I like them.
yeah, I love
One
that.
year
though.
it was
Yeah.
like, I think it was Arizona. And,
Okay, I don't know them.
They're they're kind of like a synth
Okay.
pop, but it's like two dudes. Anyways, it's cool. It's cool. Laney, I saw Laney there. They were dope. But yeah, there's always somebody that.
Yeah.
and I think having a really well-rounded music appetite, really helps kind of flood.
Yeah.
If you close your door to anything, I think that's just kind of being like,
Yeah.
at least give it a shot.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what you might like.
Yeah, that's like one thing people like. It cracks me up because everybody's like, "Oh, I listen to everything," and which most people do, but they have like 2, maybe 3 genres like they don't get out of, and then when they hop in the car with me or whatever, I'm playing music like it'll go from rock and roll to hair metal to thrash metal to country to R&B to disco, and they're like, "What is going on right now?"
Yeah.
It's like you got to have options.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, people don't like it when I DJ because I'll listen to about the second chorus, and then if I'm into it, and might save it for later, and then I'll just skip to the next one because I'll go back if I like a song. I'm going to go back and listen to it like
Yeah.
50 times, and even if I don't necessarily like it, 'cause I think it's like, isn't it like you have to listen to a full song like 3 times or something like that before you even decide if you like it or not?
Oh,
But, like-
I'm sure that's probably true to some degree. I was thinking about that on the way up here. Like, I think people are drawn to what is familiar,
Yeah.
Right.
and that's what we were talking about country music. But there's got to be something for like, there's songs that I love today that like the first few times I heard them, I was like, nah, I'm not.
yeah,
not into
yeah.
it.
Yeah, there's like some songs that have little like hidden nuggets in there that you got to
Yeah.
purse through, and,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
you find them, and you're like there's still songs that I've listened to my entire fucking life, and I will listen to them, and then what the person singing has been completely like misrepresented in my own mind.
Yeah. Oh,
like
100%.
I finally understand like how he's pronouncing something
Yes,
or how
yeah.
she's pronouncing something, and I'm like, that's what they were saying right there.
What-
I had lyrics in my mind since I
then
was in
you're,
like 7th
completely
grade.
different.
Yeah.
You're like,
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
What the fuck?
A guy I work with, he's like a book nerd. He reads all the time, but he this line that he says, which is brilliant. I've never heard anyone say it, but he's like, he rereads books, and he says the books don't change, but I change. And so every time
great.
and songs are saying, like, every time you listen, you're a different version of yourself.
Yeah.
So like
something else will jump out.
Yeah. Which is it's brilliant. It's so simple, but it's brilliant. It's like,
it's
like that with anything,
brutally true.
Yeah, like I can't tell you how many times I've watched a movie over and over or something, and I'm like, wait a second, I never noticed that.
yeah. Especially if especially if it's spread apart.
Yeah.
You know, if it's like, oh, I haven't seen this movie in 2 or 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, and then you watch it again.
Yeah, for sure. Is that how? So getting back to Karen Jane Allen, is that how you feel about Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Dude, I love that movie.
You just love Indiana Jones.
Dude, I literally just binge watched those like all weekend.
Really?
You super psyched about the new one?
Yes, and it comes out. That's like my
June 24th,
June 30th. The only reason I know that is because that's my birthday, and when I saw it, I was like,
god,
that's cool.
It's destiny, dude.
yeah.
I wish I was that lucky.
It's Karen Jane Allen Part 2.
Yeah,
potentially.
What is it? The Dial of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I binge watched the whole trilogy of Indiana Jones like at least 6 times.
Oh, it's such a great.
And then I'll do like Kingdom of Crystal Skull, which is like that one's like not as good, but like it's still pretty solid though.
Yeah,
in terms of because you're just like that's our last one we have. And when they released the new one, I was like, it's probably still gonna be the same thing, but we still get one more.
So yeah, they're doing that, and the other one that
it got me hooked. Dude.
Completely off music subject, but they're doing Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox and
oh really?
Yeah,
again.
Like, yeah, they're doing another one. Like they're not.
How can he like act and stuff?
I don't know, but he's in the trailer with what's his face?
Well, I know they have like medication now to where they can get it
Chris
shaken
Floyd,
under control. I'll have to see that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was watching the trailer and I was like, what?
Dude, speaking of Christopher Lloyd, have you seen that newest episode of The Mandalorian?
I have not. No,
dude.
Is he in it?
Yeah.
Well, isn't Jack Black and Lizzo in one?
Yeah, they're in the same one as Christopher Lloyd, dude. I was like, I
need to watch Mandalorian.
I was not prepared for that.
They were all 3 in the same episode.
Yeah, they're like.
It was like
what the fuck? I was like, what is going on right now?
Fucking Matt Damon pops out of what was the movie that was in the
Jesus Christ? It's Jason.
Oh, Interstellar.
Interstellar was just like Matt Damon. What the fuck?
It's like my dad said.
He's like 3/4 of the movie in, and we're like everybody, all the characters got introduced, and then like towards the very end, it's just
like Matt Damon. Yeah, it's like my dad was like 75% of all movies with Matt Damon in them. Is he's like. Every time he pops up, you as a viewer are always like Matt Damon. Yeah, just like in the that puppet movie where he's like Matt Damon.
Yeah,
that's the noise he makes the whole time.
Fuck, man, what's that? I can only think of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That's definitely not.
He's not an.
Although
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I love Frylock. That's such a funny ass name to me, dude. Frylock. What's that movie? With the South Park creators did it. With the puppets and shit.
Oh, Team America.
Team America. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, but Matt Damon's always an oddity whenever he comes around, except for The Martian and the Bourne series.
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting. He's pretty much there in the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, he was like barely in.
Kyle, what's your favorite Matt Damon movie?
Good Will Hunting is
that's pretty solid.
That's like that movie's incredible. That's like a perfect movie.
Makes sense. He's a teacher.
Yeah.
What's the fucking movie that he was in? Like
The Martian's good.
He played like some fucking like bald headed punk dude or some shit. It was in a really remember those movies like in the early 2000s. They go on road trips and shit. It had like the original cast of characters. Like
there's like a song from that movie too.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I'm talking about.
No.
Jared, fact check that.
Hold on,
Scotty
I'm working on
it. Is the song.
That Scotty doesn't. Yes, thank you. Fuck. God, I have such a weird like nostalgic link to Scotty doesn't know.
I don't know.
I've never seen that movie though.
I wish
Me either.
I wish Eric was here so we could say, Eric, look that up.
You probably know because it's probably
Jesus Christ. It's Euro Trip.
Thank you. Yes. Because those are like American Pie and stuff like those like it was like those cast of characters.
Those movies,
just like rotated different versions of like teen movies.
It's like all the
not
same
another
movie.
teen movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, not another teen movie. Those like terrible like parody movies that came up all the time.
Oh god, it was like what was it? It was like action. It was like disaster movie with like Paris Hilton or some shit. Or like,
Jesus.
Like Kim Kardashian.
Those were some hard watches.
How did they make those movies? Like how did they continue production on that and be like, we're in it, dude? Like.
Dude, what was that movie? Was it movie 34.
Movie 43, where
Movie
the
43.
Chris Pratt shits on Amy. Is it Amy Poehler?
I think so.
That's not Amy Poehler. It's the chick that was in Scary Movies. What the fuck's her name?
Fact check.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Close, but no. Have you seen movie 43?
Mm-mm.
It's fucking
Oh,
weird.
man, don't
dude.
watch it.
Don't watch
Please
it.
don't.
Okay.
Like you may be tempted. You're like, it couldn't be that bad. Those guys said it wasn't that bad.
But it has
was
like
bad, but it's bad.
Like A-list celebrities in it, like Hugh
And it's
Jackman's
just
in it
not
and
good.
stuff. It's
Dude,
horrible.
man, it's like a bunch of skits.
Anna
like
Faris.
It's
Okay.
Anna Faris.
Anna
yeah,
Faris.
Yeah. It's a bunch of skits all put together with all these really,
Yes.
really big name celebrities, but they're all just like horrible. Like one whole skit is like Hugh Jackman just has a
with the
big set of nuts on his chin.
Yeah, he's like eating
And
soup
he's-
and shit.
and
He's
it's
like,
like
it's like
nuts
dipping
are
in the
in the soup and
And his
everything.
date's like,
And his
oh my
date-
god.
And that's the whole
completely
skit.
forgot
Like
about
his date is like
I have
Just
And
Stand
there's like a
blank
ball-
staring
there's
at
like
him
a
the whole
ball hair
time.
in the fucking soup.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
gross.
oh my god, it's horrible. It's
He's
just
wearing
like
a scarf the whole time.
Yeah,
right?
and
then,
yeah,
like,
he
undoes
takes his
it,
scarf
and
off.
takes his
Yeah, he
scarf
takes
off.
his
Well, one of the
scarf
first skits was Chris Pratt and Anna Faris, and she was like, they're like a progression of their whole relationship, and then they're like having like a really intimate moment, and she was like, I need to ask you something. He was like, I need to ask you something too. And they're like, okay, let's do it at the same time. And he said, will you marry me? And she said, will you shit on my chest? And they were like, what? And so like
it's horrible.
Chris Pratt was like, I gotta do it, man. She's my woman. And so he prepped in the bathroom beforehand, like ate like 2 gas station burritos.
No. She asked him to poop on her chest.
That's what I
Oh
said.
no,
Shit.
but
No,
it's very important.
It's very
because
important
he said
because
shit,
she's-
remember?
Oh,
like,
that's right.
oh,
fuck.
she gets
Hurry up.
super
Yeah, I gotta
shit on your
Because okay, well, you got ahead of it, and so he fucking put some like laxatives and shit. And so he gets in bed and shit, and she's like wanting to do foreplay and all that shit, but he's just like,
His stomach's
it's just coming,
turning,
dude. And finally, he was like, just let me shit on your chest, and she was like, oh, so this is what it is to you? You're just shitting on my chest. And then like she runs out of the house and he follows her, and then he gets hit by a truck and
And it
just
just
shits
shits
everywhere.
all over the
It's
window.
horrible.
It's bad.
Those are the type
This
of
was
fucking
this
shit.
was like this
That
thing
sounds
cost
just
like
not
$2
good.
million. You
Dude,
know,
no,
what I
dude, that
mean?
thing costs
Like,
way, but the amount of like actors in that where you're like, why would you do this?
That's ridiculous.
No, I'm saying
The
that
chick that played
one scene.
Catwoman wasn't.
That one scene of them shitting
like
on the truck
$2
was like
million.
two
Halle
mil.
Berry.
Like,
Yeah, Halle
you know
Berry
what I'm
was in it
He
too.
goes Catwoman.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've never even heard of that.
I feel like we're getting off the beaten path a little bit.
not really, man. These are like important questions.
These are important. Yeah, we need to. We need
Important
to.
questions with your
We need to
important
warn.
answers,
We need to
dude.
warn
Burning
Kyle. What if
questions.
he'd watched this movie in the wild? He
I
wouldn't be
feel safe
prepared.
What if he
now.
gets
I
like a
don't-
first
yeah, I
date?
don't
What if he
think
gets
I'm
like a
gonna watch
date
it.
and stuff? They're on their first date. He's like, "Oh, movie 43 sounds good." Don't.
Okay.
Don't do it.
No, it's
Do
good.
not
Good
do
to
it.
know.
Don't.
Yeah, I will not be watching.
Aaron will reach toward him. And he's like, "Please, please,
Look at
do
me.
not sink
Look
the
at my eyes.
treasure."
These eyes laid eyes on that movie. You don't want these eyes, brother.
All right. Well, anyways, yeah. I guess we'll go back to talking about Kyle's music because what a great segue. What
I mean that is why he's here.
yeah. Speaking of hard segues, so third song, which was okay. So we got "Okay, Darling," we got "Cheap Rolled Tobacco,"
Yep.
and so in the third song, and like we said, these are all on
Growing Pains
Growing
is the album
Pains,
name.
the
Yep.
album name. Yep. And the third song was
Things You Can't Have.
"Things You
is what
Can't
it's
Have."
called.
Yeah. And that seemed like a pretty. No, I don't want to say deep because I don't want to put any adjectives on it. I'm not.
Oh yeah.
I'm not. Art is music is art, and I fucking hate when people are like just try to label it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you have to in the sense that it has to be categorized in some way. But it's still a shitty process. But
Yeah.
what would you
That's what
describe it
people do.
as? Kind of like in your own words.
Oh yeah. I mean that like just that title things. Like the line of the song is things you can't have. I don't know. Well, writing. I've always liked sad country music.
Oh yeah, it's the
Just
best.
loved it, and
Who
I
doesn't?
love. I like that song in particular. I tried one of my favorite bands, is Turnpike Troubadours, and I tried to write a song that was
The
like
Beatles of country.
I was like, yeah, what would us, And I'm not trying. That's maybe a bad because it's probably not. A
Dylan
good
Stewart said that, not
representation.
me. I just want to clarify. Dylan Stewart said they were the
The
Beatles.
Beatles of country.
Yeah, not me.
So anyway, that's just
Sorry,
like
I didn't mean to interrupt.
that was my best, or not my best. That's a rendition of a sad country song, I guess.
Okay.
So
I think it is a sad country
was
song.
thinking-
yeah, I hope so.
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think it's an imitation at all. I think it is a good sad country song. I'll go and cry in my driveway, right now. Listening to it, putting it on, tuning to it.
It's definitely not Latin salsa. So
Yeah.
it's definitely sad country.
Man,
I like the song. It's good.
Yeah, it's great, man. Do you when you when'd you have the kind of forethought to think like I should put a band around this stuff?
Pretty early on, honestly. I before writing any of my stuff, I had played in bands of like cover stuff with college buddies, and was already friends with them, good friends with them, and then kind of after that, after school, wrote 4 or 5 songs of my own, and then it was like, hey, you guys want to try to? Karen Jane Allen was the first song we did as like a full band production.
Who's all in the band too?
It's there've been like. So that was kind of the idea behind Keyland Music Company. Was I had so many friends who were musical that I wanted it to be like as inclusive as possible,
kind of like a rotating door of like
for sure. Yeah, I wanted it to be like not in the least exclusive. So like if I had friends who were doing music, I wanted them to be a part of it, and really cool. It kind of was that way. There were some main like and now Keyland is less that way. It's still pretty inclusive, but the main guys who play now are me, myself, guy named Cash Jackson who plays guitar, a guy named Sam Bowling who plays bass, and then a guy named Ramsey Thornton who plays banjo and drums.
Dude,
you guys
that is a baller name.
Names, man.
Cash, Sam, and Ramsey, and then there's another guy named Jack Jack Engel plays guitar with us sometimes. So I would say there's like a solid group of people who we play live together with. That's kind of the 5-piece. But it also there's been people come and go. The old band, there was a guy named Titus Schmidt played drums. One of my best friends, Mark Zampano, he played with us. He moved to Indiana. So
Indiana grabs another one.
Sam Westhoff
almost
plays with us
Ohio.
sometimes. Oh yeah. But anyway, yeah, there's a bunch of people.
Yeah, man, it's like a really cool little cast of characters there. Yeah. That's pretty awesome, man. Do you where'd the name Keyland come from?
Yeah, it's weird. That was another reason for changing the name. Was like Keyland Music Company was like 2 words too many. Mm-hmm. So just as simple as telling people. So Keyland, honestly, not a ton of meaning behind the name. Besides, I like the name. It's growing up. I'm from Missouri, and my family are like avid duck hunters. And the place, we have like a club where we duck hunt at, and it's called Keyland Duck Club.
Oh,
cool.
Very cool, man.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So besides that, it's just like reminded me of home, and I was like, oh, this would be a cool band name, Keyland.
Yeah, very cool, man. Do you, and all of your bandmates are kind of up from Tulsa area?
They're all I'm trying to think. They are all from the Tulsa area.
Just in that area, kind of around there and everything like that. So you said you grew up in Missouri?
I'm from Missouri.
I'm from Missouri? Okay.
Yep, grew up, born and raised in a small town called Chillicothe, Missouri, and then moved to Tulsa in 2016 for college.
Oh, okay. So, very cool. Yep. Okay, so
I've been here since. So I haven't been that long in Oklahoma, like however many years that is, 6 years?
6, 7?
Yeah, going on 7
years.
probably. Yep.
Wow, okay. And so when you moved here, were you, did you kind of seep into that the music scene up there, kind of go to shows, or was it less like started doing that later maybe?
Kind of later, not initially at first, but Kansas is probably one of the first places I went to.
Well, no better place.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And then it's just gotten like more and more and more. So not really initially at first, probably my first 2 or 3 years here, but the last 3 or 4.
Okay.
I've gotten to know people, and it's one of those things where it's like you meet people and you meet people and you meet people, and you just it's more and more all the time. Yeah. So. Do
you play a lot outside of Tulsa, or is it?
No, we've like exclusive, and we haven't been playing that long, honestly. We've played 2 shows in Stillwater, and I think that's it. The rest of the time it's been in Tulsa.
So do you play acoustic with your band, or do you play electric too?
I play both.
That's
cool.
Acoustic and electric. I kind of prefer to play electric most of the time.
Yeah,
for sure.
What's your rate? What do you play through?
I play a Jazzmaster through like a Fender Deluxe Reverb.
Hey, you can't go wrong with those. Man.
So
very cool.
That's pretty much straight in. I like it. So.
Yeah.
But
pull the old phone out for a tuner.
Yes, I have. No, I bought I actually bought a tuner.
Everybody, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I bought a tuner for the first time like not exaggerating, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, like an actual like on my pedal board.
It was like funny. Is I saw a video where it was like drummer's favorite songs to play to, and it was like just the guitar's tuning.
Yeah,
It's like fucking like going. I was like, oh god damn.
Yeah, I've been guilty of that many a time.
I've got just not a good sound. Like my guitar, my amp are great, and I just kind of like that sound. Like I've got a tube screamer and a delay, and that's it. Like a slapback delay pedal.
That's right, dude. Yeah.
So
that's cool.
I don't even have a pedal board. I have like a Missouri license plate that I just set the pedals on.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
that is really
pretty rad.
badass. That's DIY out the ass, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Dope. Well, awesome. So, well, and the reason I asked if you played other shows anywhere was I was wondering if you had like any kind of comparison between two, I guess, the music scene in OKC and the music scene in Tulsa. A lot of people say that the one in Tulsa is like much more fostering and much more welcoming to local musicians and stuff like that. Like the venues that tends to be that more people go and see live music and stuff like that. But I can't speak to it personally. I just haven't been to plenty of shows in Tulsa. I just don't think I've been to quite enough.
Because you guys primarily play in OKC,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I would be biased. I think it's really good in Tulsa. I don't know anything about the OKC music. I know bands in the OKC music scene, and I've been to several shows. And there are a lot of really good bands out of the Oklahoma City area. We have not yet played in Oklahoma City. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I think OKC has like, I think it's like hit or miss sometimes. People can put themselves out there and try as hard as they can, but sometimes it ain't just gonna line up. You know, and I think maybe in OKC it's like 50-50, and I think in Tulsa it might be like 70-30. In favor of hitting.
If like. It's been awesome. The places we play at are the people come just to listen to music, and we have a lot of friends who are like really good to us and who come to all the shows. But it seems like every show there are people who are just there because they love music, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that's great, man. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of. It's kind of hard to find that. I think. I mean, once you guys say so, it might be hard to. It's kind of hard to find those venues in OKC that aren't like super hard to get into.
There's not a lot of like good like medium-sized venues in terms of like that are friendly to the local scene. Like some of when they're a mid-sized venue, they're usually like trying to catch all the touring acts, which is like making sense because that's where you make the most money. There's not a lot of like locally owned venues that like are like
smaller, like 100 cap.
Yeah, but have a really good PA and sounds really good. And it's like, there's only like probably a good handful of them in
honestly,
the city.
I think the best show we've had and experienced is probably Grady's. But then again, that was built.
Grady's is one of those good mid-sized
music
rooms where like a lot of big guys who went and played through there, like kind of up and coming.
Yeah, they're really really awesome.
I know the name. I've never been to a show at Grady's.
Man, if you get a chance, you should catch a show there because it's a good. It's a cool little venue. But I'm sure you'd be welcome to play there with open arms, man. They're really, really nice.
That's awesome. That's like we've talked a bunch about that. That's kind of like the next step, man. And Tulsa's just like in a good central spot, and Oklahoma City is too. But like, kind of the next thing for us is we want to play OKC, and then within like 2 hours of us, like Fayette, like East Arkansas.
There's a bunch of really good places.
I don't know if you guys have ever played.
Fort Smith has a pretty decent. They have that one venue there, and what's it called?
I don't know about Forts. I mean, like Fayetteville has like Georgia Stables.
Yep.
Fort Smith has a man. I see it all the time. Like Trent Fletcher went and played there with like they were called like Boys from Oklahoma. They're doing like a little 3 bands were kind of rolling around together doing this thing called Boys from Oklahoma.
Georgia's Majestic Room, I think.
Majestic. Majestic is that in Fort Smith. That's a pretty decently sized venue.
I think I'm conflating a lot of venues together.
I've been to Georgia's,
if anyone's listening, don't be like this. This guy don't know what the fuck he's talking about because you're right. I don't.
Yeah.
So you win. But there's Joplin's right there too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what
and even
it's really
like
good
not
popping
too
in
much,
Joplin, but
like Kansas City is it's like 4 hours from Tulsa, which is a ways, but not any further.
It's
and then
like
crazy. Dallas is 4 hours, like Fort Worth. We've wanted to. So like if you get that rotation in,
dude, that's a pretty healthy loop right there.
Yeah, and so that's kind of our next moving the circle out I feel like that's kind of the next step for us.
Right, yeah.
So is that kind of the plans for Keyland? Is like,
I would like to
go on some bigger kind of.
I just like some more
Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of show runs and stuff like that.
Honestly, like, need to get this set up. But last year we played. Fridays are hard. I coach football, so Friday nights are hard in the fall. But like summer's really good, and then Saturday afternoons. Like last year, we played at a Tulsa homecoming football game, and it was like a Saturday afternoon show, and we played at Stillwater homecoming at like a tailgate, and those were like some of them. They were awesome because it's an afternoon show, so like you're not going to bed at 2:30 a.m.
Yeah,
which
always
is
a plus.
Or driving home.
And then the other thing is like there are huge groups of people who are already having a good time that you're playing for, and so kind of a thought that I've had is I want to hit like the Saturday afternoon college football scene hard. So that would be like in a perfect world, we would set up some sort of like quote unquote, between Norman and Stillwater and Tulsa and Arkansas, some sort of like
I was gonna say, man, I go to
football thing.
I take stats for this sports company, and so I go to a ton of different games, college, professional, whatever, and like at every single one, man, and especially at Arkansas's game, they do like 4 hours leading up to kickoff. They'll have like 3 bands playing just out on this stage. They could do the whole shebang, and there's always a crowd of like 1,000 people just sitting there staring at them, just like, this is cool, and it's always a pretty cool deal. Yeah, if you could get on that circuit, that would be.
So that's kind of I don't know that'll I probably just need to make that happen, but that would be an awesome thing.
Yeah, that's the really terrible part of booking gigs. That's got to make a bajillion phone calls, send a million emails to hopefully get to the right person that then tells you, nope, sorry.
Yeah. And that's what I've kind of found too. It's like people it's like with anything, who is really important.
Very much so.
So those are the plans for Keyland. So do you got any, besides the Kane show, you got any other stuff kind of coming up? You've released an album, so but maybe people should not be expecting an album very soon, new album very soon.
Actually, yes. So we over like 2 or 3 weeks ago, the album we just released came out, I think March 15th. That whole week before that, like the 11th through the 15th, we went to a ranch called Sonic Ranch Studios.
Oh wow, yeah,
in El Paso. Yeah, and we did like a whole new record that will probably come out in like July or August.
I spoke too soon.
I've seen a lot of guys go to that studio.
Yeah, it was a crazy experience, but it was.
Man, I'm jealous. Anyway, that's so dope.
So all that to say, like the
people should be expecting.
Yeah, like probably in July or something. All the songs from the last record we did were like from the whole year of 2022, and we sat on them for so long that when they came out, I don't want to say that I'm like bored of them or tired of them, because I'm not, because I think they're good, but I kind of just want to get to the point where it's like if I record something, it's just out.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. It's like you've played them so much, but it's fun. It's in that funny way that like you've played them so much and you're so familiar with them, but no one else, no one else.
Yeah, and so they're still new to other people. Anyway, all that to say, this next group of songs I really like, and they're probably like, I think they're the best stuff that we've done and I've written, and I'm really excited to put it out.
Man, that is really cool. Yeah, we need to get you down here. Maybe we can do one of the Pecan Grove shows.
It'd be cool, man.
Keyland, and that might be really dope. Okay, you guys got anything else for Kyle?
I feel we've covered.
We covered quite a bit of ground. Yeah, covered some hills and valleys and everything in between.
And
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
All right, this has
Thanks,
been.
Guys.
Dude. Thanks so much for coming out, and go catch a Keyland show. I know I will be fitting them into the calendar. That's for sure. Maybe I'll go see McCain's.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the Spark and Plug Talks, episode 8, I think.
Yes, sir.
With Kyle Ross of Keyland. Thanks for tuning in.